Hello, future people. Jason the Bruce here with Getting Tabled. I'm coming to you guys today with a bit of a show off of something I've just finished painting as a gift. My mother knows that I do some painting and she knows that it's miniature stuff. She understands what that is, but she's never really seen the finished result of anything that I've done. I'm trying to do stuff like that more often, mainly through the podcast. But I don't know, I'm not someone that likes showing off, I guess. Two things I want to apologise for up front. Firstly, the bulk of this video is recorded it vertically, and I know that frustrates some YouTube watchers. I apologise for that. Secondly, this will be a Patreon exclusive until Saturday Australian time. The reason for that is I don't want to take the chance, no matter how minute, that my mother stumbles across this before I give her the gift. I would like to think that's fair enough, but yeah, it is what it is. So for now, I'll take you into the footage of the completed bird, and then at the end of that, I will kind of show off to you live the completed works themselves. The only thing that hasn't been done at time of recording is the varnish, which I will do at some point between now and the end of the week. I have till Thursday, so I'll see you at the end. So what I'm showing off here is one of the two prints that I've done. This is ultimately going to be painted up as a wedge-tailed eagle. At this particular point, it's about 80% finished. I just finished doing the dry brushing at this point. The beak needs to be finished, and the, I'm going to say, stand that it's sitting on is meant to be finished as well. I believe that this is actually sculpted as just a regular golden eagle, but that's not the way I want to paint it. Ultimately, this will become a wedge-tailed eagle, which is an Australian eagle, and it's one that my mother always liked. I need to add some more black into the feathers at this point. But it was at this point when I realised that I hadn't actually been keeping footage of everything I'd done so far. This one is obviously much smaller, and that's actually deliberate. This was the one that's for my grandmother, and because she's now living in care, she doesn't have a lot of space. So this isn't so much that I'm like not being as nice to Nan as I am being to my mother, but me trying to allow for her to actually keep something. Whereas if it was the same sort of size, there's the risk that it would be in the way. And here we are with what, at least for now, is closer to a final product. So you can see that I've done the beaks at this point. I want to try and get another layer of highlight there, but on this particular one, I think I'm most proud of those eyes. Obviously, being an eye, it needs a glossy finish, but they do have like a black eye with like a blue. The iris is the middle bit, whatever the other, obviously not blue, brown, outer bit to the eye. I'm quite happy with how that turned out, to the point where, yeah, I'm quite proud of that. Much, much harder on the small one, obviously, and I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera. I don't think you can really see the iris on camera at all. It is there. Let me try this for a second. There you go. Now you can see it a little bit more. Now, this one is much, much lighter. I have deliberately kept them separate. I was trying different techniques with both of them. This one is very much a wedge-tailed eagle, much more than this one is. This is just an eagle, basically. But I specifically made this a wedge-tail because that's the type of eagle that my mum really likes. I've painted up the base at this point as well, which is just hopefully not taking away from the model too much. It might be a little bit too close on this one. I need to wash it yet. It is much different on this one though, thankfully. So, as I said, I've never painted anything to this scale. So essentially what I initially done, this was originally printed in a translucent green. This is a free file that you can get on Thingiverse. I just did a search for an eagle and I found this particular eagle, which I kind of liked. And then this one I printed out at 160%, I think it was. It was either 150 or 160%. Basically, I was trying to get it as big as I could without it going weird. First time I printed this larger one, the base went all wonky. So the other thing that I've done on this, for the very first time ever, is I've actually hollowed the model out. I've never really spoken about this in the past. This is something that most 3D printers will do with everything, because it saves resin and a few other things. But I've never really tried it because I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Like, genuinely really happy with how this turned out. I didn't do it with this one. Basically what happened is the weight of it, because it prints this way, and the weight of it caused it to break here, and there was a crack in here somewhere, and then everything went wonky, and this was kind of, rather than being flat, it was kind of like that, if that makes sense. So I threw that out and I reprinted it. I primed this in the Vallejo Black. I then used these inks. I used the cold grey one, which is just a standard grey. And then I used the, whatever the standard white is. I don't remember what they call it. But it was all in Daler-Rowney FW. There is a video where I talk about those inks. And I'll say here what I said last time. I will never use a grey or a white primer ever again. They are completely useless in comparison to these. You do still need to prime your model, but prime it black. Black is the easiest to work with, and then use your lighter coloured acrylic inks to lighten them back up again if you need to. You will save yourself a ton of time, a ton of hassle, unless you really, really love spray cans and don't ever see yourself moving away from them. Take the chance on. But the Daler-Rowney inks is the only ones that I've used, but all of them are amazing from what I understand. So yeah, that's where things are standing at the moment. I'm actually quite happy with how this turned out. There is differing ways that these eagles can look, obviously. But you do kind of get the sense of the black and the brown, which has come out nicely. When I first did this, I had to mix 3 colours. It was a brown and an orange and a tan that I mixed together to get like the reddy brown that I wanted. And then once that was done, I washed the ever-living daylights out of it with dark tone. And then I've dry brushed it up in a series of layers with those colours. This one I've done a little bit more simply. I washed it still, but I watered down the wash that I used a little more, where I used it pure on this because I wanted this to be much darker. So this has come out a little bit more Golden Eagle. I still like it. But, yeah. So the question at this point is going to be whether my mother likes them. Needless to say, I'm kind of nervous at this point. I won't know whether she likes them or not until Friday. The other question is, will they break during the trip? I really hope they don't. I will be devastated if they do. Because as I'm sure you can imagine, there's been a lot of time that's gone into this. I mean, not a stupid amount, but I have spent significant time on these. My Blood Angels have not started yet because I decided I was doing these first, because I only had a limited amount of time before I leave this coming Friday. So I hope you enjoy the preview. On Saturday from home in Tassie, I will make the video live, but let me know. Have you taken the opportunity to use your skills, or lack thereof in my case, to do gifts for family? How was it received? Obviously not everybody's into wargaming, but have you found other ways that you can use those skills that they would appreciate? Let us know in the comments, and until next time, rather than playing more games, do something for somebody else.